Under this session of natural resources, we will be discussing about the biogeochemical cycle. The biogeochemical cycle is a natural pathway by which the essential elements like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, etc. goes through the biotic and abiotic components of the earth to have an ecological balance. So under this biogeochemical cycle, today we will be discussing about water cycle and nitrogen cycle. So this water cycle occurs in three different stages, namely evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Under evaporation, during the heating process of water bodies by the sun, the water vapor rises and it forms the cloud. During condensation, the water vapors are converted as a water droplet under the low temperature. As the rate of condensation increases, the formation of water molecules also increases. So they form cloud, and the more heavier the water particles, it will pour down in the form of precipitation. Now precipitation can occur depending upon the temperature as a rain, snow, hail or sleet. When it rains, not all the water is being washed into the water bodies. Few of them seeps down to contribute to the underground reservoir. And the running water dissolves many minerals from the land, and it is being carried into the river to support the marine organisms. So this is how the water cycle is maintained. The next type of cycle is nitrogen cycle. We all know that 78% of nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. But what is the importance of this nitrogen? The importance of this nitrogen is they are essential to build up few biomolecules like protein, which is made up of amino acids, the nucleic acids like DNA and RNA, and some of the protein contains nitrogenous group. Even the nitrogen is present in important compounds like urea, which is important for the soil fertility. So nitrogen is essential nutrients for all the living forms. Now let us see what are the different steps involved in the nitrogen cycle. There are four different phases by which the nitrogen is fixed in the soil and again it is being transferred into the atmosphere. So they are nitrogen fixation, ammonification, nitrification and denitrification. So under the first phase of nitrogen fixation, the nitrogen is fixed in the soil from the atmosphere in two different ways. A, the nitrogen fixing bacteria which is found in the symbiotic relationship with the root nodules of the leguminous plants like rhizobium is bacteria which is found in the root nodules of pulses, grams or all sort of leguminous plants will absorb the nitrogen from the atmosphere and fix it to the soil. Apart from this, there are other free living microorganisms like blue-green algae also fixes nitrogen in the soil. The second type of nitrogen fixation pathway is when the high temperature and pressure is created in the air, it converts the nitrogen into the oxides of nitrogen, and this oxide of nitrogen mixes with the water to form acid rain, and hence it falls on the earth. Then the second phase is ammonification. When the plants and animals they die, the saprophytes like fungi and other bacteria feeds on the dead and decaying matter of these plants and animals and convert it into an ammonia. During the third process of nitrification, ammonia is converted into nitrite with the help of bacteria like nitrobacter and nitrococcus. Later, the nitrite is converted into nitrate by oxidation process. At the fourth stage of denitrification, the bacteria like Pseudomonas will convert the nitrogen into an elemental nitrogen which is sent back into the atmosphere. So, in this nitrogen cycle, you will see that the nitrogen is fixed in the soil which is being taken by the plants, and when the plant die they convert it themselves into ammonia, or when plants are fed by animals and when these animals and plants die, they form ammonia by the process of ammonification. Later, ammonia is converted into nitrite and nitrate through the process of nitrification, and the pseudomonas takes up this nitrite and convert it into an elemental nitrogen, and this nitrogen is sent back into the atmosphere by maintaining the nitrogen composition and nitrogen cycle.